Hi everyone and welcome to the second episode of the Technology Show, brought to you by Technology Magazine and BizClick Media Group. Now, as anyone knows, sequels are always better than the original. Just look at Star Wars franchise, the Godfather trilogy, and of course Hot Shots Part 2. And in our case, if I do say so myself, I'm confident this show is going to be even better than the first. Why so confident, Scott, I hear you ask? Why so confident? Well, not only do we have a live guest coming up later on the show, but we also have a brand new issue of Technology Magazine to share with you, packed with the latest tech innovations and expert insights. Now, in the week and days that major broadcasters and news media have been outed by the internet, by little breakdowns and bad connections, we are having a few technical issues of our own, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be with you and everything will go smoothly today. But without further ado, let's say hello to Technology Magazine's editor-in-chief. It's Paddy Smith. How you doing, Paddy?
Hello. I want to pick up on a couple of things you talked about there.
Oh yeah, go on then.
One is that I don't think you know what outed on the internet means. And outage on the internet, of course it was. And the other is, I noticed you mentioned Hot Shots Part 2, and I was thinking about that film only last night because are you aware that they've made a new 101 Dalmatians film, and it's called Cruella?
Yes, I am. I have seen the trailers for that movie, yes.
And are you aware that they are, as we speak, lining up all the contract work for it's been very well received, and it is likely to be a big box office success. So they're lining up for a second version, and I thought that could be Cruella de Vil.
Okay. And it took you all day to think of that one, did it?
Since last night, I've basically been honing that. Yeah, that.
It was worth it. It was worth waiting for.
I try my best, you know. I try my best.
Stranger things have happened. Cruella de... Okay. Yeah, okay. Right, we better move on. Now, before we go any further, I need to tell you that we do have a reader poll running at the moment. So if you join us via LinkedIn, of course, you can go back to our LinkedIn page and you can have your say in this week's poll. And what is the question, Paddy? What are we asking people?
It's about the future of work. It's about how we're going to work in the future, whether we're going to be working at home forever, whether we're going to go into the much vaunted hybrid work future, or whether your boss is just going to say, don't care if you bought a house in the Cotswolds, get back to the office. Nah.
Who buys a house in the Cotswolds? Who
Idiots.
could possibly afford such a venture? Okay,
so
go. Thank you. Go and have your say. Go to our LinkedIn. So the future of work, hybrid, working from home, or working in the office full time. Obviously, people will have differing views, and we'll be back to that at the end of the show to bring you the results. But without any further ado, let's look at what's been happening in technology this week. And I did give you a little bit of a teaser in the intro to the show. Let's look at this week's technology news.
You know, I know.
Paddy, you started saying something then, and we heard you. You've got to learn that when we say the news, we're going to cut away to our top CGI graphics department.
Right. Third time lucky, okay? Third time lucky for that. I just forget that there's a little graphic.
You forget the production. How can you forget the production values we're bringing to the people?
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned you flagged up our first news story in your little intro bit, and I thought, oh, that is almost professional TV. Very clever.
Almost, except I said the wrong phrase. Let's not go over that. So
yeah.
So you can tell me about the news. Run me through internet down.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the internet going down for. It wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, people freak out. If the BBC website goes down, people freak out. The FT went down as well. Guardian, CNN, Hulu, Twitch, Amazon, Reddit. I mean, there's there's a thing. I think if they stop broadcasting the Archers, then there's a nuclear submarine somewhere that's just entitled to go ahead and start firing because clearly everyone in the country has been arrested by some foreign military police. Yeah, it's interesting for two reasons. One, so it was a CDN, Content Delivery Network. This is, everyone has one of these. If you use a website, that's where your pictures are stored. And they have a kind of edge computing so that they can deliver stuff, these global websites. The FT wants to be able to deliver its articles as quickly to someone reading in New York as to someone in Sydney or London or Moscow. And so they use a kind of edge cloud delivery for this stuff, which speeds up the internet. It's great in many ways, but when they misconfigure it, as they did yesterday, the company is called Fastly, and when they misconfigure it, it causes far-reaching problems. So it brings up a question of how stable edge computing is, because lots of people are diving into this. It's efficient, it's fast, you get stuff, you get rid of all of the latency that you can have in, you're building a smart factory. You don't want your smart plantware to be reporting to a server that is 1,000 miles away. You want it to report to a little box that's just at the edge of the building, and then that can iteratively update something further afield. It means you can be much more responsive, which is really important, but it adds a layer of complexity to your technology. And I think it's worth considering, there's a balance here between complexity and reliability, and we're always looking to advance, but the advance sometimes comes at the cost of, look at us. We're here doing a live broadcast. We hope. I mean, we're probably not. It's probably just the test screen at the moment. But here we are doing this, which wouldn't have been possible long ago. But one day people will look at things like this in a museum and think, God, it's awful quality. And why do they keep crashing off? And why doesn't that guy know the difference between outage and outage? And, how can that be acceptable? So yeah, interesting question. And I wonder if it also tells us something about disaster recovery, which is something we normally think about in terms of saying disaster recovery is the cloud. Make sure everything is off premises. If your staff have to leave, if your office is on fire, you can just carry on working as though nothing's happened, just from a different location. But should we also, in disaster recovery planning, be thinking about what life looks like without technology? There might be, say a submarine, or there's a coordinated attack by a lot of submarines on undersea cables, and the whole world's internet gets taken out at once. Huge economic cost. People, I mean, would I be able to work without the internet? Don't think so, not anymore. And when I started out, it didn't even exist. Well, barely.
Well, exactly. Let me just get a word in edgeways. You have a little breather. I completely agree with some of those points. I was talking about it last night, actually. Imagine a world where the internet, for some reason, just stops working. Because obviously, certainly in the last 18 months, we've become even more reliant on the internet and work from home, as outlined in the poll, obviously. But we clearly are working right now, okay? Because looking at this, you said, are we actually live? I see that we have got people joining us from Brazil. That was, who was that? That was Rafael. Thank you, Rafael, for joining us today from Brazil. And we also have Marcelo joining from South Africa as well. So yeah, we're definitely broadcasting all around the world. Yeah, hi guys. Which is yeah, like you say, 25 years ago when we were 20 or whatever, the internet barely existed, and this is not how we would have done things, absolutely. But imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years, 15 years, the tech change that we're taking. And things like 5G and edge are being touted as the the start of this new future, this new era, if you like. But it's great when it works, right? But I think that there are genuinely some concerns, obviously, about security, resilience. There was that story also this week, wasn't there, about was it a data cable, I think, got damaged. It was to do with that underwater avalanche in the Congo, I think, wasn't it? It was the River Congo. Did you see that story?
It was a volcano, I think.
No. Well, it might have been caused by a volcano, but there was an underwater avalanche to the point where it sent out sand, I suppose, 1,100 kilometers from the mouth of the River Congo out into the ocean, and it damaged two data cables connecting one of them connecting our friend in South Africa, actually, Marcello. But clearly he's up and running, so everything is fine. But you're right. I think people can very easily forget that the internet is still reliant on a very physical presence, and it is those undersea cables and things like that connecting up the world. And these are physical assets that can obviously break and go wrong, or get damaged, or need maintenance, or can be subject to a cyber attack of some sort. Okay.
Cyber warfare is the new frontier, and that's something that we'll be talking about later. I can do it too. You see, I can cross-reference the sections.
Oh, you see, we know what we're doing. We actually do know what's coming up later in the show. People think we just turn up and make it up as we go along. This is organised, guys. And also, while we're talking about cyber, we do actually have a cyber magazine launching sometime soon. So stay tuned, and we'll give you more details of that as well. Before we move on to the next news story, I just want to highlight our URLs, which are hopefully still working. If our media websites are all working correctly, we have, there we go, technologymagazine.com, and our sister title, aimagazine.com as well. So you can catch all of the latest news, you can read the latest issue of the magazine, you can watch all the great video content that we're producing, and you can find about all the live events and all the other amazing activities that we've got coming up for the rest of the year as well. But let's move back to one more news story, Paddy. So what else have you got for us?
Well, I just wanted to talk about there's a survey that Ofcom has done. Ofcom is the UK's communications watchdog, regulator, call it what you will, and it's got all sorts of interesting things in it. One of the things I thought was quite interesting is the average person spends nearly 4 hours a day, 3 hours and 47 minutes online, and I think that's colossal. I mean, I spend a lot longer than that online every day, but then as we've talked about, I use the internet for work, and I am not a digital native, but I'd like to think I'm not far off being a digital native. I had a computer as a boy. So yeah, it's interesting, but also interesting that in mainland Europe, in France, in Germany, and Spain, it's about an hour less, which is it's a lot. I mean, that's a quarter of that time. Maybe because the weather is better, it's drier, people have more to do. More.
Yeah, no, I heard that story as well, and I mean, it's quite astounding because, like you say, an extra hour or an extra third of the time that they spend in France or Germany. And yeah, maybe true. Maybe it's just because they have better weather. Maybe they're just more social. Maybe they're just going out and, I don't know, wandering the fields and sitting on sunny beaches. But I mean, what was the main reason for the growth? Because obviously it was the pandemic and the lockdown that was forcing more people spending time online. But what were they actually doing while they were there?
Well, a huge amount of it was obviously people who would ordinarily go to a shop suddenly turning up to do their grocery shopping online, and probably, in the old days, if you did an online shop, there was no queue because it was a bit niche doing your shopping online. I did it, but I think it became pretty clear when people couldn't go out and had to get their shopping delivered that was not the case for everybody else, and suddenly you were waiting 3-4 weeks for a delivery slot. So yeah, online shopping went up by nearly 50%, and that was mainly accounted for by food and drink. So yeah, big boost there. Be interesting to see if they do the same survey again next year, if that's a trend that sticks a bit, or if people just can't wait to get back to their shopping trolley with the wobbly wheel and do it the old-fashioned way. Ties in a bit to our poll as well, which is about whether things are actually going to change or whether everything is going to go back to normal.
When you refer to a shopping trolley with a wobbly wheel, you're not referring to our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, are you?
Well, is he a shopping trolley with a wobbly wheel? Who called him that?
Well, that's what Dominic Cummings called him last week when he was.
I have to say,
okay, no, clearly not. Then, all right.
For Dominic Cummings, that's very funny.
I thought it was quite funny actually. It was a really good analogy. But going back to the reason why we're here and talking about online shopping. Oh, go on then.
So well, let's. I'm aware that we're trying not to make this into another 2-hour extravaganza. So
yeah.
I just wanted to, from this survey, I just wanted to ask you one more, one question, which I haven't put in the notes because I wanted to surprise you with this.
Okay, go on then.
I seem to remember when I was at school being taught that around about 49% of the global population was male, and there's a slight skew, 51, 52% female. So I'm going to ask you a question about this report, which was that in adults, what percentage of the adult population had visited the site Pornhub during the pandemic?
I need to think long and hard about this one, Paddy. I'm going to say 30%.
48%. No, 49%. 48%. So, 49%. Mainly men.
Okay, all right. Fascinating insight as ever.
It's basically all of us. Not me, obviously, but everyone else.
Okay.
Think about that next time you walk down the street.
Moving on.
Very swiftly on.
Very swiftly. I was going to talk about Jeff Bezos, but I've lost the appetite. I think we'll do that next time. I'll tell you what. Let's very swiftly get back on track and talk about the new issue of Technology Magazine, shall we? So that's enough news, enough surveys, that's for sure. So Technology Magazine, hot off the digital presses and featuring this stunning front cover. I think we have that ready, lined up, do we? Production wizards. Let's have a look. There we go. There's Technology Magazine. Now, as you can see, or you might not be able to see, you might need special binoculars like myself. We do actually have the British Army on the front cover this issue. This is actually a series of interviews that I was fortunate enough to do. Went down to their UK headquarters in Andover and managed to speak to 3 of the Army's senior officers about their digital transformation project, which is called Project Thea. We've got a great video to show you, though. They'll explain everything about it. So let's have a look at the video.
In March 2021, the UK government's integrated review ushered in a new era for the British Army. A stronger British Army, using leading-edge technology to wage 21st century warfare. This is Thea, the Army's ambitious digital transformation programme. Thea is transforming the Army's capabilities to make it faster, leaner, and more efficient.
Thea is what I would describe as an ambitious but critical transformation program for the Army, which will take us from a relatively analog approach to our activity at the moment, absolutely into the digital space. So the integrated review, of course, which has just been announced, reduced some of our numbers within the Army, slightly on a promise in terms of what technology offers us in the future. At the moment now, we are very much refocused on what the capability offers, and that for us is the future, very much links machine and the person, so manned, unmanned teaming. It brings in artificial intelligence and it brings in machine learning.
It is inevitable that soldiering will change, and modern warfare in the next 10 years may look very different, but some fundamentals remain.
Nature of conflict remains, i.e. it is frightening, it is visceral, and it is bloody. And nothing that technology brings to bear will ultimately take that away. But what is changing, I would suggest, is the character of conflict. It is no longer an issue about tank versus tank.
Theia is about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and autonomy. It's about quantum computing, cyber insecurity, synthetic environments, but also augmented reality and analytics.
You know, we have got a lot of data out there to play with. I think we've missed the point. Yes, it's the new oil, it's the new, oil in the machine, it's the new black gold, whatever you want to call it. In an operational sense, helping commanders make the right decisions at the right time with the right amount of information is the way to win.
Defence Digital is leading the way when it comes to the digital backbone. The data highway that runs right from the individual soldier all the way back to HQ, or bayonet to base. When it comes to outcompeting an adversary, it's about acting quickly, but also acting on the best data. Speed is of the essence, and that is also true of the rapid digital transformation the Army is undergoing, while also recognising that a lot of its capital equipment is legacy equipment, some of which has been in service for decades. That is why an open architecture is so important.
We are building an open architecture which enables us to inject new digital technologies, predominantly applications, artificial intelligence tools. We are paving the way for those in the future. But we have to do the hard yards of the back end work, which is about open up architectures, own the design, and be able to innovate from that. It's about really good control of your data, and it's about having an infrastructure, including a hosting environment, which enables the power of those digital services. So we have to find a way to get the best of all the technology, but at the same time recognise the fundamental human nature of an army. For an army where you might ask teams of people to go into war together, where they're putting their lives on the line and where they're fighting for each other's lives, it is very important for them to be able to operate and function as a team, and that is ultimately a very human endeavour. And as much as technology enables people to work remotely, to be able to exploit the power of data, we must never forget the human nature of warfare.
Okay, now I hope that worked for everybody out there, because I couldn't actually see the video playing. So I really hope it worked for you guys. If not, of course, or if you do have any problems, and I have been told that my video has been breaking up a bit as well, I have been outed clearly, then you can always remember, visit our websites, technologymagazine.com and AI-magazine.com. And as you can see there, you can read more about the British Army's digital transformation story by visiting technologymagazine.com. Everything that we talk about today is up there and live. Thank you, Stuart Irving, for telling me that you could see the video. So that's great work. I just want to say also great work, Chris Palmer, organising that, and also Kieran Wade doing the actual video magic on the show as well. So thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody. Now, still to come after the break, we're going to have the results of our reader poll regarding work from home or hybrid working. We're going to talk about our upcoming live events as well. And we're going to have show director to the stars, James Callan, joining us. Let's just see if James's connection is working. There he is. Smile and wave, boys.
A queenly wave.
James Callan will be joining us after the break as well. And obviously we're going to have some more great content from this month's magazine, and hopefully I get a chance to watch it on the show as well. So don't go away, and we'll see you after the break.
Think about the corporate inefficiencies, the amount of waste in supply chains. Think about all those broken customer onboarding, customer service processes.
Customers have been looking to improve their processes throughout all time, and they're now facing a real opportunity to now step up the need to create ever more flexible and intelligent workflows to drive out cost and to improve their revenue opportunities.
Execution management is a new category of software that leverages process data and intelligence to boost execution across business processes, any company and any industry. Celonis' mission is to liberate companies from aging, rigid, fragmented transactional systems and relayer them on intelligent, execution-oriented digital systems. Celonis will be adopting at our core into our fabric of what we do, Red Hat OpenShift as our strategic container platform for Celonis execution management system.
This is one of the few unicorn or early stage players that IBM is creating such strategic partnership with. And in doing so, it allows us to really ride the wave of growth. And it will allow us to take a procure to pay process or a supply chain process or a customer service process and to help clients fix broken parts of those processes, identify silos, see value pools, and create the golden threads of effective process optimization, which are going to be so important to power their business platforms and the ecosystems they're looking to build.
Most important stakeholder is the customer. Customers now will have first-hand access to the most powerful execution management and process mining technology, combined with the deep domain expertise and the process methodology of IBM. That combination is unique. We will be democratizing the usage of process mining and execution management capabilities to unleash the trapped execution capacity in all those aging, rigid, and fragmented systems. And we're going to do it together.
Hey, and there we go. Hey, welcome back. Paddy's still there as well. It's always a pleasure to see. Still to come, as well as more from Paddy and his little asides that I have no idea are happening. We also have James Callan joining us, the money cat of live events with his little wave. But before that, more from the magazine, and let's talk about another feature that's in this June issue, Paddy, and that's the top 10 consultants. So tell us who was in the list and who actually came out on top, and we might have seen a little bit of a clue in that video we saw just now.
Yeah, well, I don't think Celonis or Red Hat certainly isn't a consultancy. So yeah, IBM came out on top of that list, which I think is interesting because this might be controversial given the nature of that video, but one of the biggest ERP systems on the planet is SAP, and that was birthed. It was carved from IBM employees who wanted actually to develop it as part of IBM, I believe, and then. As is so often the case, they were told not to, and went off and did it anyway. And and ended up sort of IBM now sort of shilling it. So that's always nice to see. All of the people you'd expect. Company I still call PricewaterhouseCoopers, but PwC to it's a company's house, I'm sure. TCS, Capgemini, KPMG, Deloitte, Accenture, Boston Consulting, McKinsey Digital, Bain. Trying to think who I think that I would have expected maybe to see Tata in there, but maybe a bigger deal in Asia than in Europe. I don't know what. I mean, I would have thought where the money is in consulting. There's there's a lot of people there, and a lot of manufacturing effort is concentrated in that part of the world. But what do I know about global economics? Tata is there. It's TCS. Sorry.
There you go. Okay. All right. So as expected, Tata was in there, so that's fine. But IBM came top.
So no surprises. No surprises whatsoever.
No surprises. No surprises. There you go. They're the top 10. It's official. Okay. Right. Let's move on then. We'll move on to another feature in this issue, and that's an interview, a profile piece that we did with Ensono. And we've got a video here, so rather than me telling you everything about what they do, we've got a video that is all about them, where they can explain to us what they're all about. So let's have a look at that.
Ah, the cloud, the place we all dream of. The land of unlimited elastic scale, smart security, and AI, where the insights flow freely and everyone is happy. Coders, CEOs, CFOs, and all the other O's. But here on the ground, the cloud can seem almost impossible to reach. With all these big clunky servers and storage devices weighing you down, it's hard to even know where to start or what tools to use. You think about just lifting and shifting everything into the cloud, but then you can't use all the awesome tools it offers. So you consider building something from scratch, right in the cloud. You'll get all the benefits of the cloud, but it could take forever to build and cost a lot of money. Don't give up. There's another option that combines the ease of lift and shift with the benefits of building directly in the cloud. It's called replatforming. And here's how it works. Okay, let's say you have an app that turns your customers' faces into cat faces. You have a server for the website that users interact with, an app server where images are uploaded before moving to storage, a messaging server where the job is received in queue, a back-end server where the user's face is turned into a feline one, an email server where the user is emailed back to pick up their photo, and a database where all the metadata is stored. Whew. You can retire all of this old hardware built to peak demand, move to the cloud, and get all of the scalable, smart, and secure benefits of the cloud with replatforming. Oh, and Ensono can help. The first step is to observe and assess your infrastructure. Second, we lift and shift just your app code and user data to cloud computing instances, leaving behind your outdated OS and physical disk volumes. This allows you to turn up and down your services based on real-time customer demand. Next, all of those expensive storage devices are converted to cloud storage. We chuck away your DNS, replacing it with managed cloud DNS. And finally, get rid of your load balancers, instead using load balancing services. Look at that, you're in the cloud. No more tape, no more failed restores. And look, you've made the coders, CEO, CFO, and all the other O's happy. Now the only thing left to do is keep optimizing and deploying apps more quickly and more efficiently. Oh, and turning yourself into a cat. Check out Ensono.com to learn how we can help you migrate to the cloud.
See, I couldn't see that video either. This is so frustrating.
I could. Have you watched it before? Because it's quite fun.
Oh, yeah, I've seen. No, I've seen it before. I mean, I really liked it. I really like the style of it, and I like some of the, the tech and the floppy disks and all that kind of stuff. No, it's a really good video actually. So there's a couple more. They've made a couple of really cool videos actually. You can see those by visiting our website and checking out their feature profile that's in the mag. It's around about page 120, 124, something like that. But that's in technologymagazine.com, and that's the June issue. Okay, moving on. So now there's still time to tell you about BizClick's new event, Technology and AI Live. Now, we did mention this on the previous show, of course, but if you don't know, this event is going to be broadcast from London, live from London, to our global audience via our virtual platform. Now, early bird tickets are available now, and the link is somewhere in the comments. I'm sure we get pasted in there anytime soon, and you can't miss it. So let's have a quick look at the trailer for the show. There you go. That's all very dramatic, isn't it? And I'm glad to say that to give us the bit more detail behind the drama is the show director joining us from London today. We have show director James Callan. Are you there, James? Can you see us, James?
Hello. Can you see me, Scott?
We can see you, James. What a delight it is to see you today as well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for having me on. It is. I'm down in London. It's a ridiculously hot day. Anyone who's watching in London, avoid the Central Line at all costs because it nearly killed me earlier this morning. It's a very hot line.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, you want to stick to the Jubilee. They've got air
Jubilee, Circle Line, air-conditioned tubes. That's what it's all about.
I was always a fan of the Metropolitan line myself.
Oh, no, I don't think that's got AC. No.
No? Okay, fine.
You just like it because it's old.
Come on. So you're saying the Jubilee line or the Overground? The Overground's pretty good if you have to do transport.
It can be.
Going, obviously. Anyway, I'm sure.
Welcome to the transport show.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Welcome to TFL.com. Now, but of course, anybody who wants to attend the event in London needs this kind of information to talk about public transport and how to get there. But anyone from around the world can join. You don't have to physically be in London because we're using the power of technology to beam it to all of our guests and to our speakers around the world as well. So, James, why don't you tell us more about the show? So, tell us, where it's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening.
Yeah, no. So, as you mentioned, it's the 14th to the 16th of September, Technology and AI Live. So, it's a 3-day event. And as you said, obviously we are streaming this via a virtual platform, so anyone globally can obviously join the event. Take in the content that's going to be available. The first 2 days, we're live streaming from Tobacco Dock. So the majority of our speakers, not all though, because we do have speakers based in all different regions around the world, will be presenting from there. The third day is an extended day. We're going to be focusing more on regions. We're going to be focusing on APAC in the morning, Europe in the afternoon, and then the US in the early evening. We've got speakers from all those regions as well that will be joining us. Obviously, with in-person events, one of the key aspects is networking. We're very conscious that we wanted to give our attendees the ability to meet new people and discuss different topics within their industries. So we made sure that our virtual platform provides people with the opportunity to have one-on-one video chats with other attendees. They can schedule meetings around all the different content. And as I said, we've got multiple speakers from different areas, and we've got 3 different stages as well that are going to be covering an array of different topics and themes. We'll have over 80 speakers actually across the 3 days, and they'll be, doing keynotes, panel discussions, roundtables, fireside chats. So there's a lot of different content to take in as well during the 3 days.
Okay, cool. So look, we'll talk about some of those speakers in a minute, but I just wanted to go back to the sort of the whole interaction element, and is that through an app or is that through a web platform? How do people do that now?
Yeah, so our attendees will be able to kind of navigate through the event via our platform, which is Brella. It's a great tool for networking as well. Obviously, as I said, we have the 3 different stages, so they'll be able to go through the different stages through the platform and watch the different presentations and panel discussions that will be going on throughout the 3 days.
Okay, great. So obviously one of the main things for attending any kind of trade show, exhibition, conference, whatever you want to call it, depending on the level of content, one of the main reasons people do that is obviously to network and see new people, to meet up with old contacts, to have these face-to-face discussions.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're in a very different place right now, but this platform still enables people to do that from within the platform itself, so they have control over who they interact with, where.
Yes, absolutely. So when our attendees log into the platform, they can log in a month before the event and set up networking meetings prior to the event and during the event, before the event actually kicks off. Every attendee will be asked to build a profile, what their interests are, what they're looking to network about, what they're looking to hear about, and that will actually set up, it will matchmake against other attendees with similar interests and recommend scheduling meetings with them and show you when those other attendees are available during the event as well, to be able to schedule those meetings. It's very important to us. I know that, it's something that can sometimes be missing from virtual events, but it's something that we've got a real big importance on for ours.
Okay. All right. So look, I mean, these shows, obviously it's about networking, but people want to actually attend and register and sign up and get the tickets because they want to hear what these industry leaders have to say, and the insights that they're sharing as well. So obviously it's early days. We're talking about the event in mid-September, and people are still organising their own travel plans and everything else. But I know we've already got some names confirmed. So why don't you give us a flavour of some of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've confirmed a lot of speakers already. We'll have up to around 80 across the 3 days. Just this week, I mean, we've confirmed Matt Schwartz, who's the VP and Managing Partner at IBM. Danny Attias is the CIO at Anthony Nolan. Frank Wild, Vice President of SAP 5G. Adam Spearing, Field CTO at Salesforce. Angela Locum is the Chief Transformation and Digital Officer at Novant Health. And that's just who we've kind of confirmed this week. There's more announcements that will constantly be kind of promoted across our social channels as well. But we've got a great array of speakers already lined up.
Okay, sounds great. I mean, I've done quite a bit of work with Frank from SAP recently, so I know that he'll be providing some great insights, no doubt, into 5G and the amazing edge work that they're doing. And this goes back to how we started the show, talking about computing at the edge and edge computing. Okay, great, James. Stay with us, James, because we're just going to talk about some other stuff as well. And I know you won't want to miss it. Now, because this also relates to something that's probably going to be happening at the show as well. So if you cast your minds back to March, across BizClick, we did a series of special supplements celebrating the top 100 women in different sectors, and we did top 100 women in technology, for instance. That was published on March the 8th to coincide with International Women's Day. And we're going to be doing a similar thing coming up out in September, where we're doing the top 100 leaders in technology. So this is something we've already announced it. We're already taking nominations for that as well. So if you work with somebody, it could be a colleague, it could be peers, it could be friends even, that you think deserve to be in this global list of the top 100 leaders, then again, you can probably go to our website, or you can check our social channels, and you can find out where to go to have your say and nominate. In fact, there we go. Great work, by the way, production guys, getting that up there nice and quickly there. So there you go. You can go to our landing page, fill in your details there, nominate your person, and we're actually going to be pulling that list together and announcing that. I think we're going to actually release the list to coincide with the show itself, James, aren't we?
We are, yeah. So we will be focusing, have a little focus session on that at the event, which will be really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to have an awards ceremony and to give out physical awards, and people are spread all around the globe. But I'm sure we'll do some kind of special event, and it's another moment that's going to coincide with the Technology and AI Live in September. So go away, have your nominations on there, and we'll keep you posted on how that's going and some of the names that have been put forward for that already. Okay, so moving on to the results of the poll. So just to remind people, Paddy, what was the question? What was the poll that we asked?
Good question. I thought I had it in my head.
It was about working to work from home.
I know. It was about working from home. We asked whether post-pandemic, the future of working from home, are people going to be working? I set a 4-day limit on this because I don't think it counts as hybrid working if you work from home 1 day a week. So working from home 4 days a week, hybrid working, which I guess would be 2 and 3 split either way, or 4 days just working in the office. What did people think? They thought hybrid working. So that's still very much on the cards. It's 76% say hybrid office/home. And very few people, just 7% of people think that we'll be back in the office full time. I'm not sure I agree. I've done too much change management to think that people won't revert. I would like to see a future where hybrid and working from home are embraced. The possibilities of technology, all of the wonderful things we can do now are exploited, and we can use, we can reconfigure our cities and our lives around that. I think it would be a really positive and brilliant thing. But the pragmatic me is less certain. But you all are, so good for you. Good optimism.
Yeah, and Paddy, you're well known for your pragmatism, obviously. But this is interesting because the three of us on this call, I mean, we're all in office spaces right now, okay? And this is quite interesting because I'm in Norwich. I'm in BizClick HQ in Norwich today. I'm not live from Shed Studios, hence me getting dressed up and putting a shirt on. Thank you, Stuart Irving, for recognising that fact. Paddy is from his regular office in Bristol in the west of England. And obviously, James, you're in our offices down in London today. So
I am, Liverpool Street.
Yeah, so this is interesting because obviously, this is normally, 18 months ago, this would have been absolutely packed with office workers. What's it actually like now? What, is it like 20%, 50%? What's the situation in London, would you say?
Yeah, we've been coming back into the office in London for probably about nearly 2 months now. And when we first started coming, got a seat during rush hour on the tube. I could hear my voice echo walking down Liverpool Street. Now it's the tube is busy, the offices are busier. I would say that people are still probably only coming in maybe 2 or 3 days a week. I mean, today it feels a little bit sort of less busy, but yeah, it's definitely picking up.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm recognising the fact that we're all based in the UK, but obviously our readers are in various places around the world, and we're all in different stages of different waves and different lockdowns. So wherever you are, obviously, we hope you're all safe and well. I think that's an appropriate way to round off the show. So I just want to say that's all from us today. Thank you for joining us and for posting your comments and joining us. Just remember, you can catch all of our daily news, insights. You can see the latest issue of the magazine as well by visiting our websites, technologymagazine.com and aimagazine.com. And the show is available to watch on demand later. So if you missed the start of the show, or if you want to watch it again, of course you do, or if you want to share it with somebody, this is available to watch on our LinkedIn page as well. So if you go there, you can watch the whole shebang again. So do tell your colleagues and anyone else who may be interested in tech and AI. Just want to say thank you to Paddy and to James for joining us both today. Thank you, guys. And also to everybody in production and behind the scenes who makes this magic happen, and who obviously helps to produce the great content that we showcase on this very show. So thank you all for joining us. Yes, well worth a round of applause. This has been a BizClick Media Group production, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye.